The next race on the NASCAR Thunder 2004 season heads to Watkins, Glen here this evening on a Saturday evening nonetheless, as we are set for our second yet final road course race of this 2003 schedule. Keegan Schneider, welcome for today's race. Hopefully you guys can tune in here very, very shortly throughout the pre-race festivities. We'll get into the starting lineup here in a little bit. We'll also get going as far as the pre-race that this game kind of has that you guys have seen time and time again. Every single time we've done these full race live streams, I make sure I play all the way through with the national anthem and everything else for the spotlight drivers. You guys know the drill. So when we get into there... Did anybody else see that? Oh no. There we go. I knocked the earpiece like right out of my hand when I chopped my hand down, and yeah. Okay, anyway, we're about to hop on into today's race. Not the best qualifying ever for Terry Labonte. Comes into this race coming off an incredible win yesterday in the Brickyard 400. If you get a chance to go back and watch that, you definitely should, because it was a very, very good race, and it came down to a last lap pass for the win for Labonte over Ryan Newman as well. We had a little bit of a milk challenge, and that went into play. Obviously, Indianapolis 500. You know, the winners get the glass of milk, and they basically douse themselves in it. So even though it wasn't the Indy 500, we were still at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we won yesterday's race. Therefore, I doused myself in milk. You can also see that at the end of the stream. Not doing that anytime soon. It was a lot harder to clean up than what I thought it was going to be. So I ended up being up a little later last night than what I was expecting to be. But nevertheless, welcome everybody. Slasher God, Rye Guy 0929, welcome to the stream. And we are about to hit play now and take you to today's race for the Sirius at the Glen 400.
The NASCAR Winston Cup Sirius at the Glen. Barney, this will be a very tough race for some of the drivers.
Well, 7 out of the 11 corners here are to the right. You want a car that can turn both ways with ease. Of course, that's a lot easier said than done.
Steve Park really stepped it up in qualifying this week.
Well, the extra time that team spent on qualifying this week makes all the difference. I think they should spend extra time every week. Maybe it would help improve their average starting spot.
The 5 car can count on a couple of the drivers out there to treat him well, especially Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That's just great to see. I always get a kick out of watching guys out on the racetrack who you know have a lot of mutual respect. They both want to win bad, but they can still give another guy a break now and then.
Stanton Barrett finds himself in a bit of a slump.
Oh, he definitely wants to turn things around starting now. His whole crew seems determined to pull out of this slump. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off at least a top 15.
Engines are roaring for all 43 cars as they begin their pace laps here at Watkins Glen. Again, the second and final road course race of the season. First one at Sonoma, and now known as Sonoma, formerly known as Infineon, here in the 2003 season. It was a pretty good race. We'll see what today's race will bring. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the pole. This is the 5th time in the last 7 races Junior's been on the pole. Jeff Gordon, road course ringer himself, will be starting in second. Bobby Labonte will start inside of row number 2. Kurt Busch outside of row number 2. Starting 5th and 6th will be Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jarrett. Johnson had a fast car late in yesterday's race, almost stole the win. Steve Park and Jerry Nadeau will be back in row number 4. Jeremy Mayfield, Christian Fittipaldi will be in row number 5. Fittipaldi qualified and finished in the top 10 in the last road course race at Infineon. Ricky Rudd and Kyle Petty will be in row number 6. In row number 7, it'll be Jeff Burton and our driver, Terry Labonte. Labonte, the most winningest driver this season, and again, won the Brickyard 400 yesterday on a last lap pass for the win. Michael Waltrip and Mark Martin will be in row number 8. Martin went into yesterday With the points lead, he leaves today third in points. We'll see if he can get back into it. Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman will be in row number 9. Newman with back-to-back top twos as he won at Pocono 2 races ago and finished runner-up. Almost won the Brickyard 400 if it wasn't for him getting passed on the last lap. Elliott Sadler, Mike Skidder in row 10. Rookie Greg Biffle in row 11. On the inside, outside of him, will be Kevin Harvick. Harvick has won here once in his career, actually won here in 2002. Rusty Wallace and Hermie Sadler will be in row 12. In row 13, it'll be Robbie Gordon and Jack Sprague. Robbie Gordon, known to racing very well on the road courses in NASCAR, actually won both of them in the year 2003. He did not perform well in Infineon, though, on this season. We'll see if he can bounce back today. Better starting spot. Ward Burton, Johnny Benson in row 14. Kenny Schrader and Kenny Wallace in row 15. In row 16, it'll be Casey Mears and Brett Bodine. In row number 17, it'll be Tony Stewart and Jeff Green. Look out for Tony Stewart today. He's been fading in the point standings. Actually blew an engine yesterday early in the race and fell all the way outside the top 5 in points. He should be fast today. It'll be fun to watch him come from the back of the pack. Sterling Marlin, Jamie McMurray, a couple of Chip Ganassi racing drivers in row 18. Kevin Grubb, David Green in row 19. And row number 20, it'll be Bill Elliott and another Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet of Joe Nemechek. In row 21, it'll be Ricky Craven and Kevin LePage. LePage is one of the 2 rivals, actually one that is at least mad enough to take a swing at our driver, Labonte. And Stanton Barrett will be rounding out the field, starting last. Watching the whole live stream tonight. Thanks, Slasher God. Hopefully you will enjoy as well as the rest of you here for tonight's race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to lead the field to the green. We're underway. 90 laps at Watkins Glen. This is the shortest race of the year as far as laps go. And we'll see how this one is going to go as Labonte goes a little wide in turn 1. 3 wide. Tries to get back onto the racing surface. A little contact with Mark Martin and then Michael Waltrip. Side by side through the S's. Kenseth slides into him now. Very dangerous racetrack. Very, very treacherous, and you saw it with the double file initial start there. Into the bus stop. Labonte trying to make a pass, and he goes really wide. Got back in the gas way too soon. So he tried to pass Michael Waltrip on the outside, and it's been a rough opening lap for Terry Labonte in the middle of the pack. Another track where the track position matters so much. It's like any road course, really. It's just so hard to pass. Man, oh man. Huge checkup going into turn 6. Causes Labonte to get into the back of Waltrip. Kenseth again looking to the inside, and Labonte's just been all over the racetrack on lap 1, but they will get through lap 1. We have had 6 races this season come down to 1 caution or less. 2 that went caution-free. Yesterday at Indy, we only had 1 caution the entire race. It was at lap 73. And very close to seeing a couple of them on lap 1 and 2 already. More contact in the S's now with Labonte and Kyle Petty. Labonte trying to keep it off of him. Car's wiggling around too much at the Sandhook stick. Hard on the brakes in the middle of the bus stop to make sure he wasn't going to run into the back of Jeff Burton like he did with Waltrip earlier. Look at how wide Labonte goes. Oh my goodness, he almost hit head on into the wall. That would have been a terrible crash. The car was actually really fast in practice, at least 8th quickest, and the handling was really good as well. But I think being in traffic versus in clean air, like he was in practice, is being the huge difference maker right now. Labonte trying to break the draft on the inside. He can't even hold a straight line down the straightaways. Hard on the brakes into turn 1 to get by Fittipaldi for 12th. Oh, somebody just went really wide in the bus stop. Still holding on to their position somehow. I think it might have been Bobby Labonte. Not entirely sure. It's hard to tell from this far back. Saw a crazy race at Watkins Glen back in Season 1 as well. The second race there, at least. So we had 2 at Watkins Glen. These guys like to check up a lot going into Turn 6. They did again right there. Labonte into the back of Jeff Burton. Labonte's got to keep that car clean. He DNF'd out of that Infineon race earlier this season, though it wasn't his fault. Sterling Marlin had wiped him out while Labonte was leading with less than 35 laps to go in that race. Right before the final pit stops. Labonte had a pretty big lead, too. It's going to be so hard for Labonte to make passes today if his car's wiggling around as much as it is right now. He might have to tighten it up. Kenseth's been basically trying to pass him since lap 1. Lap 1, turn 1, really. Labonte went a little wide off the start. Check up so much in Turn 6. At least Labonte knows he can gain a lot of time in Turn 6 and Turn 1 is what it looks like. Almost got underneath Jeff Burton there. That was close. Almost ended up in the wall on the straightaway. Locking the brakes up in Turn 1 a little wide. Definitely overdrove it a little too much. Yeah, I know it's wiggling a lot. It's not necessarily the handling of the car, it's the analog stick and me trying to keep it straight. I got a new controller a few weeks ago and I'm still not used to it. Some tracks are better than others and this one is not one of them. I wasn't wiggling this much in practice though, that's what doesn't make any sense. There's been a couple races like that where it's just not wiggling that much in practice. Then we get to the race and I just can't keep it straight on the straightaways. Matt Kenseth probably would have gotten around Labonte if Labonte didn't slide right up into him. Should pull him in Turn 6 a little bit right there. And he did. Ryan Newman starting to come from the middle of the pack. Kenseth looks low. Labonte with a block. Yeah, I'm warmed up. I ran practice, and it was fine in practice. I don't understand why it's wiggling so much now. Ooh, Waltrip trying to make a pass in the bus stop on Matt Kenseth. Kenseth shuts the door on Waltrip. Going to try to get around Labonte himself. And he does. And Labonte crosses him back over in Turn 5. Be nice to see a good battle going on here. And we could have one between the 17 and the 5 as long as Labonte... Oh, boy. Still can't keep it straight. Slides into Waltrip. Waltrip is upset now. Waltrip did go a little wide in the corner. So did Labonte, and Labonte didn't want to go all the way off the racetrack, but he just can't hold a straight line. Somebody gets alongside of him. He just can't make these corners. XY Games, welcome to the stream. Oh, contact between Michael Waltrip, Ryan Newman as they battle for 14th. They were in the bus stop. Side by side, one of the treacherous areas of the racetrack, and trying to run side by side. Somebody has already blown an engine in today's race and is already done. Not sure who it is. Wow, Labonte's already 9.5 seconds off the lead. The car wiggling around too much is costing him so much time. That and the poor qualifying effort. Well, I mean, it wasn't too bad. He qualified 14th. He didn't get off of turn number 7 very well and actually got in the wall, pushed it a little too hard, trying to get every little bit possible. If he didn't do that, he probably would have easily qualified top 10, if not top 5. And that alone's costing him in a race that isn't very long. Kenseth going a little wide. Off the exit of the bus stop as he's trying to get around Steve Park for position. Park, who qualified 7th, is quickly outside the top 10. Just look at the tires sliding into turn 5 even for Terry Labonte. Kenseth clears Park. Long race in the grand scheme of things, yes. But compared to other Cup races, this one's probably going to be over in anywhere between 1.5 hours to 2 hours tonight. Not a long race at all. Yeah, definitely going to tighten this car up a little bit, see if that helps. I don't think it's going to help, though. Because honestly, the car's handling fine. If it wasn't for the analog stick down the straightaways messing me up. That's where I'm messing up. I mess up the corner entries because it wiggles like that on the straightaways. Like, just like that. Like, it shouldn't wiggle. Damn controller. Noah N., welcome to the stream. Playing NASCAR Heat 4 right now. Nice. Labonte starts to slowly gain on these guys ahead of him. Then he just loses them again. Now he's 10.7 off the lead.
He can try something if he catches you.
In all fairness, Heat 4 is a better game. The zero bugginess alone is enough to put it on top. Oh, Park in the wall. Got back into the gas too soon in the bus stop as well. Labonte did the same thing earlier. And now Labonte tries to slide underneath Park for position. Almost made contact, and Park still hangs on. Oh, Labonte into Park. Steve Park still trying to block. Waltrip, meanwhile, just got around Ryan Newman for position. Into turn 1, Labonte looks low. Park trying to look lower, and he pulls off another block. Into turn 1. And there's the move. Into the bus stop. Labonte definitely cut it down. Oh, Park's in the wall hard again. That's the second time in a row he's gotten in the wall. Getting back into the gas too soon. That time was because Labonte got underneath him, and he was trying to keep up with him once Labonte did make that pass. No course cutting penalty on this game. We need every advantage we can get with the way this analog stick's handling for me right now. Michael Waltrip just got around Steve Park as well. His two former teammates at DEI. Waltrip's still there, at least in this 2003 season. Park at Richard Childress Racing, driving that 30 AOL car. Over 11 seconds off the lead now for Labonte. This is likely only going to be a 2 pit stop race as well, as long as these guys can make it 30 laps into a fuel run. It's going to be only a 2 pit stop race.
He may try to pay you back.
There's been a lot of races this year where we haven't seen a lot of cautions. This could be another one, the way things are strung out already in the first 12 laps, and with it being a shorter distance compared to usual.
He's looking to settle the score.
Yep, running Watkins Glen today.
He's pretty much in it with you.
Kenza just made another pass. That's actually going to move him into the top 10 now. Into the bus stop. Jerry Nadeau
He might try to
didn't
rally.
get into the corner very well. Got out of it a little bit better. He's fading back as well. He qualified in 8th. Outside of Steve Park. I need to get my old controller. Well, I would. The reason why I had to get a new controller was because the analog stick started sticking to the right on random one day. So I had to get a new one, and this one is junk. Like, I can't control the car at all. Like, it just moves too freely. Like, there's nothing, like, actually wrong with it. Like, physically, because it works, but it's almost, like, too loose. Not loose. It's hard to explain. I'm turning the car way too easily, and I'm overturning a lot, and that's why you're seeing me wiggle so much.
I'd be real smart.
Because once I overturn it once and I overturn it back the other way, it just keeps wiggling back and forth. Like, you can't help it. And I thought I'd get the hang of it after a little bit, and it's been like 3 weeks, and I still can't get the hang of it. It's only for the PS2, by the way. I mean, it's a normal PS2 controller. It just, for whatever reason, I mean, it just moves too freely. I got 2 of them because I got a backup one in case I had another issue with it sticking, and both of them do that. They're both red controllers, too. Somebody a couple races ago, a couple streams ago, said to try and get the black one. Like the standard PS2 controller. And see if that helps any, and I'm about to because I don't know how much more of this guy I can take. Like, one of these days, it's going to cost us the championship. Like, I think when we DNF'd at Michigan, it was basically because of the controller. That's the only racetrack we've actually DNF'd because of the controller itself and the analog stick. But how many more of those are we going to be able to afford? We go back to Michigan tomorrow. So that's going to be a tough one already as it is because of it. Yeah, definitely. When I'm used to the other one after 6-7 months of using it, definitely became accustomed to it. I'm hoping that's all it is. Bonnie trying to make a pass into turn 6 on Jerry Nadeau. He overdrives it a little bit. Slid right into him. Nadeau kind of hit him back. I guess rightfully so there. I guess they're even now. Bonnie ducks to the inside. Maybe going to try to make a move into turn 1. Slides right around Nadu in turn 1. Seems to be the best passing zone. That in turn 6, but turn 1's a little bit wider. Not by much. Very narrow racetrack. There's no runoff area like there is now where you have that excess pavement on a lot of these corners. There's grass there, so you have to hold a tighter corner no matter what. That's why lap times are a little bit quicker now than what they used to be at Watkins Glen. See, our quickest lap time about a 110, but you can run 107s, 108s pretty consistently if you have a really fast car at Watkins Glen now. Bonnie is slowly, and I mean slowly, inching his way forward. Looks like somebody else is off the pace and is blowing an engine as well. I'm just getting into the bus stop right now. Labonte gains a ton of time in turn 1 right behind Matt Kenseth. Maybe going to look to make a pass on him. Set him up in the S's and maybe get him in the bus stop. Oh, a little contact. He didn't want to do that. Well, that's one way to get to the top 10. Got so close to that left rear quarter panel, just enough to make a little bit of contact and loosen him up. Oh, there's that car with the blown engine right in the way. Jeff Green, he's trying to stay out of the way, but again, there's no excess road like there is now for him to take. He's going to have to try to nurse it all the way back to pit road. It's going to be tough for Jeff Green to do that, especially with a lot of cars right around him. He still has about a half a lap to go. A little less than a half a lap. Oh boy, Jeff Burton checked up big time in turn 6. Labonte into the back of him again. Just like he did in the opening laps on Burton. Burton just seems like he checks up so much more than everybody else. Really trying to back his corners up. Caution! Caution on the racetrack. I believe it's in between turns 5 and 6. They have to race back to the caution flag. This is going to be treacherous when they get into 5 and 6 because I think there's a big crash. It looks like there's at least 2 cars stopped on the racetrack. Labonte trying to make a pass on Jeff Burton. And he does on the bus stop. That's another spot for 9th. So first caution of the day at lap 18. And there is a huge wreck somewhere on the racetrack. These guys got to be careful. You're going into turn 6 right now. I believe they were able to get away. Or maybe push the car off. Something. There's no damage or no wreckage anymore in turn 6. But I believe in turn 6 is where the crash happened. So as they race back to the caution flag, we'll see what it was. And Jeff Green. Oh, huge. Yeah, huge crash in turn 6. My goodness, Stanton Barrett. I think he went up and over after piling into the one of Jeff Green. Was laying fluids on the track as after Barrett hit him, Barrett just got T-boned hard by Kevin LePage. Right at the back of the pack. Labonte's going to stay out. Let's see if everybody else stays out. Yes, so again, it's a 2 pit stop race today. That caution's going to get them a little bit closer to that window as well. Just a vicious accident. And the green flag is back in the air again. Lap 22. Bonnie did not take off on that restart. Look at Kenseth on the outside. We'll check up into turn 1. Jeremy Mayfield gets shot underneath Ricky Rudd there from the back of Terry Labonte. Or from his back was Terry Labonte. Mayfield trying to block that time. I think he's still trying to block. Yeah, he's definitely blocking. Labonte going to try to back up the bus stop. Looks to make a pass. Labonte went a little wide. He couldn't hold the outside. Not in that corner. Now he's going to try the outside in turn 5. Great restart there by Terry Labonte. Labonte goes wide. He's in the wall hard. He clips the wall hard. Huge crash on the racetrack. He's sitting backwards in front of the pack. Just trying to hope everybody misses him from behind, and they did. Hard hit for Terry Labonte on the restart, and somehow everybody misses him. And they race back to the caution flag again. Labonte almost went up and over. The left rear came off of the ground. He was on the outside exiting turn 5, pretty much all the way through 5. It ran just a little too wide and almost missed it. And somehow everybody misses him. Heavy damage on Labonte's car. Man, look at that car up on 2 wheels. And somehow, as he was trying to back up out of the way, everybody missed him. He was sitting backwards right in the middle of the racetrack. Somebody could have easily piled in and ended his day. That wasn't the analog stick that time. I was actually kind of holding that corner about as well as I could. I just couldn't get back in time. I forgot that wall was right there. It's not there. And now I'm used to having that runoff area off of turn 5, and we don't have that here. And you just can't go side by side in these corners as well as you usually can. And Labonte is going to have to pit at the rear of the field. Not going to pit for fuel or tires because I brought out the yellow there. Damage will be repaired here for Terry Labonte. And all that track position's lost right at the rear of the field. So they're going to repair as much damage as they can. How much speed is... Now, he didn't hit the wall head on, so it might not knock that much speed out of the car. He hit it with the left rear, and that's what kicked the car. And the green flag is back in the air. 2 cautions already today in the first 25 laps. That was after that restart. What's going to happen this time? Bonnie was starting to gain time. He had a really good restart up until that. Oh, big checkup. There's contact. Labonte has to miss to the inside. Kevin LePage ran into the back of somebody. Another pretty solid restart for Labonte, but a lot of it was because so many drivers checked up. Into the bus stop. Wow, Jamie McMurray just sent it off in there. A little contact with Biffle. Oh, Sprague hard into the wall. Sprague into the wall off the bus stop as well. Oh, this is treated as a wild card race. Labonte again trying the outside. That time it worked to get around Biffle. It was definitely pretty hairy once again, though. Look at how much time Labonte gained in turn 6. Well, until he overdrove the corner at least, but still racing with Casey Mears. Look at how much ground Terry Labonte gains in 1 lap off the restart. It was another big checkup in turn 1. That time there was about to be no contact until Labonte slid right up into Ward Burton. Marlin to his outside. Now, Marlin's not mad enough to take a swing at it. Well, now he might be. Well, that was a big lick to the outside wall. Bill Elliott didn't see Labonte right in the middle of the racetrack, and there's some contact there as well. Oh, Labonte! Oh, my goodness, that was tight. 3 wide now on the bus stop. Another crazy restart at the Glen. Caution for debris. Labonte wide. Has to let McMurray go or he was going to eat that wall again. Caution further back. There was some contact. It sounded like... Oh, man! McMurray. The brake check. My goodness, what is going on here? So they race back to the caution flag again. Racing for every spot. Fittipaldi trying to block Labonte. And we have 3 cautions already today. Again, I believe that was debris off Stanton Barrett's race car. Not sure what piece of that car flew off, but... Well, this is slowing the race pace down. We had a pretty quick start until that happened. Labonte's going to pit again. This time he's going to take tires. He didn't bring out the caution, so no unfair advantage this time. Wild race here today at Watkins Glen. I'm surprised nobody else was pitting here. They might be just outside the window to make it on one stop. 4 tires, full tank of fuel coming up for Terry Labonte. And what has been a wild start here to Watkins Glen. This time he's going to take tires. I meant to tighten the car up and I forgot. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. That's okay. At least we'll have fresh tires. Everybody else is going to be on old. That enough should at least get us through the field. They're going to be pitting really soon, though. These cautions are letting these guys run quite a bit longer. I'd have to assume we've already piled up 9 to 10 caution laps with these 3 cautions. And they might not be done yet. We've had some wild restarts.
We're starting in the back, so be careful and stay out of trouble.
Green flag back in the air. Wow, Labonte spun the tires on the restart. He restarted right in the middle of turn 7. There might be another big checkup going into turn 1. Labonte's going to anticipate. Oh, there's a caution! There's a caution!
Watch out, buddy. He's going to be a little slow.
I think somebody got ran into from behind on the restart. So they're going to race back to the caution flag another time. Oh, 3 wide. Wall is jammed in the middle. Labonte's loose and he's in the wall again. Around goes Labonte. And again, everybody misses him. Actually, I believe it was debris off Kevin LePage's car. Yeah, debris. As soon as we went green. So Kevin LePage will bring out the caution. Remember, he was involved in that big accident earlier. My gosh. We went the first 18 laps caution free, and we've had 4 of them back to back to back to back. This is insane. Everybody coming to pit road. Labonte's only got 1 lap on his tires. He's going to repair damage, and that's going to be it. He's basically going to be on the same strategy, so he's going to try to gain a lot of time on pit road here and gain quite a few spots by just repairing damage from spinning there back in the pack on the restart. So Labonte going to try to make this as quick as he can. Everybody coming to pit road. .9 second stop. He gained a lot of spots. And again, he's only going to have 1 lap older tires, so that might actually be the wise decision there for Labonte.
The cars at the head of the pack didn't pit.
That's a lie. Everybody pit there, it looks like. Labonte's going to restart in 8th place. So everybody hits pit road. Green flag back in the air. Lap 35. And we got another caution. Probably for debris again. Oh! Martin ran into the back of Steve Park going into turn 1. 5 cautions already. They're going to race back to the caution flag now.
Still beside you.
Oh! Martin in the wall. In the S's. He drove it in too deep. Labonte takes away 7th. Hard into the bus stop goes Labonte. Trying to make a move on Ricky Rudd. Oh, 3 wide nearly. Labonte got loose. I don't think they were going to make it off the exit of the corner if Labonte didn't get loose and just duck in line behind Ricky Rudd. Now to the inside of Rudd in turn 5. No contact.
Number 21 is still there. Okay, we're clear.
Racing back to the caution flag again. Now Rudd brake checks into turn 6. Well, I guess that's one way for Labonte to get around him. 5 cautions likely to debris on the restart again. Those guys need to pit and repair their damage.
Just 2 seconds back now, 2 seconds.
Debris off Kevin LePage's car for the 2nd time in a row. I'm surprised he's still running. Him and Stant Barrett both, how hard they hit each other on that first caution, that first accident. Labonte has not led a lap yet. We're almost halfway. The way these cautions keep flying left and right. It's like we're never going to get another green flag run in this race. 5 yellows. It feels like we've had more than 5, but we've only had 5. Well, for the first 40 laps at Watkins Glen, it's actually quite a bit. So restart into turn 1. Well, they made it into turn 1 without a yellow this time. Labonte desperately trying to get around Park. Park got loose right in the center. Oh, contact! No, Labonte in the wall. Martin ran into the back of him. Labonte loses 2 spots. He was trying to get around Park for 5th. Park got a little loose. Oh, look at how wide Newman went. Oh, and here comes Marlin. Labonte's got to be careful. Marlin, one of his rivals, going to try to take a swing at him. Into turn 6.
I'd be real surprised if he don't try something.
Labonte's really good in that corner. He stays in front of Marlin for now. Has to block Sterling. Sterling. Oh, he puts the bumper to him. A little bump and run there from Sterling Marlin. He couldn't get around Terry Labonte, though. A little contact. Rusty Wallace just ran in the back of Marlin. Gave him a shot going into turn 1.
I'm sure he's still angry with you.
Labonte's just trying to get away from Marlin. Marlin in the wall in the Estes. That'll help. Labonte somehow doesn't have huge damage on his race car. He did when he had that big crash, but, well, big single car crash, and he hit the wall off the exit of turn 5. Great entry into the bus stop. He got loose, but it gripped up well in the center. He's able to get back to the gas pretty good as well. Newman ran a little wide in turn 5 that time. How about Ryan Newman? Top 10 run again for him here. He is really charging late in this season. Pretty much was a non-factor for the championship until a few races ago, and all of a sudden back-to-back top 2s. He's in the top 5 in points now, and he's trying to go for back-to-back championships here on Thunder of 4. Marlin just put Labonte in the wall. He tried the bump and run in turn 7 the lap before. That time it shot Labonte into the wall, and Labonte's trying to get back at Marlin. Labonte wants to get back at Marlin. Sterling heated with Terry. They have been rivals for quite some time now. Someone just went wide in the bus stop again. I think it was Ryan Newman. I think Newman's still in the 7th spot. Ricky Craven's almost in the top 10. I didn't think he'd be able to do that today on a road course. He's trying to get around Mark Martin for position.
Just 6 seconds separates you and the leader.
Marlin trying to make a pass on Ricky Rudd. It looks like he's going to do it. Marlin's trying to get away from Labonte now after Marlin put Labonte in the wall. Terry's been through a lot today. He hasn't led a lap yet, too. That'd be nice if he can get to the front. I don't know how he's going to be able to do it. Rudd overdrives the bus stop. Marlin looks like he's got a really fast car. He hasn't won yet this season. Oh, big checkup in turn 5. Something happened. We got a car up in smoke on the inside of the racetrack. Rudd tries to slam. Oh, and he turns Labonte. Well, at least he tried to. Labonte's hard on the wall. Ricky Rudd just about sent Labonte into that same wall in turn 5, and Labonte cut back down the track right in front of him. And Terry Labonte's got huge damage on his race car, especially on the right front after Ricky Rudd tried to wipe him out now. And Labonte's got to be careful because that right front cannot take much more damage. Just getting beat around first by Marlin and then Rudd. Rudd hit him in such a dangerous spot off of 5. Labonte almost went head on into the wall. No caution. Everybody got by the driver with the blown engine. The only reason Rudd was upset was because Labonte ran in the back of him. That driver that blew an engine in the middle of turn 5 just stacked up the field. Obviously, Labonte didn't do that on purpose. And then Rudd put him in the wall. And now Burton's upset too because, Ward Burton that is, because Labonte ran into the back of him. Insane. Somehow Labonte's still in 13th. Man, these guys check up so much in turn 6, and it's not going to take much more of another hit for Labonte. Just trying to make it to the end of the fuel run, which would be about lap 6. Well, not the end of the fuel run, but the beginning of the final fuel run. That pit window to open to the end of the race, which would be right about lap 60 with 30 laps to go. Look at the loss of grip that Joe Nemechek had. Nemechek started at the rear today, and he's up to 12th. And with all these cautions we've had 5 of them so far. Now we have another. Debris on the racetrack, I believe, off of Labonte's car. Burton's going to try to get around him here. Bonnie hard on the brakes, trying to outdrive Jeff Burton. Slides on tires, our 6th caution of the day now in the first half of the race at Watkins Glen. Labonte's not even going to worry about trying to get around Nemechek here. He just wants to make it back to the caution flag, and he'll come to pit road and repair that damage. But if the debris was on him, which it likely is, that means he can't make any adjustments or take fuel or tires. He'll lose all that track position once again here today. Back and forth with the pack. But yet he hasn't ran higher than 6th in today's race. The hood came off the race car, it looked like. Well, it might have been the... No, I think it was the right front fender because the fender was pretty soft. No, it was the hood. Okay. So the hood comes off of Labonte's car. Yeah, well, they're going to get another one back on the car. Just past halfway at Watkins Glen, 6 cautions. It's just turned into an ugly race. Labonte came in with 1 rival, and he's already got 4 in the middle of today's race. It's about the 3rd time Labonte's came down to pit road just to repair damage from from near accidents and accidents he's been in already today. This has just been insane how this car is even running still.
Nobody else decided to come in.
A couple more drivers out of the race now as well, by the way. Because Labonte's restarting 39th. Everybody that's on the track is still in the lead lap. Oh, Kevin Grubb might try to look to gain a couple more spots here. Lap 48. McMurray and Rusty Walsh are out of the race now. Big checkup into turn number 1. Bonnie kind of figured that was coming. So he got a decent amount of damage on the right side of that car still. No surprise. I think Rusty Walsh was the driver that blew an engine while he was running up towards the lead. Oh, what a dive by Labonte. Getting around Mike Skinner. A little wide, though. It's on the outside right behind Stanton Barrett. Labonte knows he's faster than these guys. Another brake check into turn 6. Labonte got to his brakes just in time as he gets underneath Stanton Barrett. Well, Labonte's got to get payback on Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin for pretty much putting Labonte back in the pack once again now, between both of them. Hard into turn 1. Look at how much ground Labonte gained right there. Boy, he drove it in deep. Barely clears Ken Schrader. All over the back of Robbie Gordon, who has just not done well in the road courses this year, and I'm quite surprised. Road course ringer he is, winning both of them in real life in 2003. He swept the road course races at Infineon and Watkins Glen, but not this season, nor today. A little wide goes Brett Bodine. On entry at least. Outside in turn 5 is Labonte. Get a little better trying to hold that outside lane in turn 5 at least. To the inside. Oh, wow! Blocked him. Blocked the tires up again. Slid the race car in there. Boy, Tony Stewart not having a good day either. Qualified near the back. He's still in 28th. All these cautions, though, probably stagnating his ability to gain ground, and he's probably not having good restarts either. Stewart might just fade back in the points a little more. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. XX Games, welcome to the stream. Kenny Walsh almost got in the back of Labonte. It's been a wild race today. 6 cautions at Watkins Glen the first 50 laps. One more pit stop to the end of the race for everybody still. The bus stop, big run. Oh, gain 1 spot, might gain 2 on Kyle Petty as well, and he does. For 25th, Labonte trying to charge through the field. It's going to be tough to get around Waltrip here. Waltrip is one of his rivals. Maybe he can outbrake him into turn 6 or turn 1. Turn 1's probably going to be a little easier, I think. Hard on the brakes in turn 6. Waltrip is definitely going to try to keep Labonte behind him, and if he gets alongside of him, too, he's going to take a swing. So Labonte's got to be careful where he tries to pass him. That's why turn 1's probably the best idea. He wasn't close enough to drive it in deep enough. Oh, he gets underneath him anyway. Waltrip runs him down the racetrack, and Labonte runs him back up. Oh, Waltrip tries to take him out in the S's. Labonte hangs on. Waltrip might not be done yet. Terry's got to get away into the bus stop. He's going to outbrake Elliott Sadler. There's a spot. Trying to get back into the gas to get around Bill Elliott. Oh, Vittipaldi in the wall. He checks up as well. Look at Labonte. Up the middle. 3 wide between Vittipaldi and Elliott. Oh my goodness, what a move by Terry Labonte. Labonte is a man on a mission. And he proved it right there. Yes, Rolex 24 currently going on. Oh, Labonte just going to get that spot right back up to Elliott. Ran a little too wide off of turn 7. Into the back of Elliott.
Still beside you.
I believe NBC Sports is covering it this year again.
Okay, we're clear.
I haven't been able to really tune in or see anything about it yet since the race started. I worked earlier today, so I missed the first couple hours. My phone's been dead for most of the day because I forgot to charge it last night. Jeff Gordon. Man, Gordon's really falling back as well himself. As far as the championship goes, oh, wow, Labonte got loose. Really, really loose. As he tries to get around Dale Jarrett. This is known as a wild card race. And it has been one here today. It is living up to the hype as far as the season championship goes. Bonnie blocking Dale Jarrett.
We're about 10 seconds off the lead. Hit your marks. Be smooth.
How about Labonte up to the top 20? Casey Mears, Kevin Harvick side by side in the S's. Harvick tried to get around Casey and he couldn't do it. Terry's driving that car very loose. Loose because of the damage, mainly. Oh, Gordon drives it in deep. 3 wide into the bus stop.
On your right.
Oh, are they going to make it? Oh, they did. How did they do that?
24 car is still
Gordon sends it in there. They didn't even make contact with one another. That was insane. Michael Turner, welcome. I was talking about yesterday being the race of the week. I mean, this one's probably not the race of the week because of how sloppy it's been, but... Oh, Gordon tried to block. That really stacked up Labonte and Mears. Labonte was already there on Gordon. That about turned Jeff into turn 7.
number 24 is still there.
Hard into turn 1. Harvick checks up a little too much. Gordon ran into the back of him. Labonte runs Harvick a little wide, and Terry Labonte is charging through the field to 17th. Man on a mission. Here today at the Glen. Has not been higher than 6th in the running order, but the way he's running right now, you would think otherwise. Kenseth goes a little wide. Labonte trying to make the move underneath him. Labonte on the outside into 5. He's got to be careful. That's how he crashed on his own earlier. He went too wide off the exit of turn 5 on the outside. Went a little wide again there. But he makes a clean pass on Kenseth. Crowds him a little bit, but it was a clean pass. After Marlin and Rudd took out Labonte, that's what stacked Labonte at the rear of the field. Terry trying to come back. He's on equal tires, too. It's insane how much speed's still in this race car and the refuse to lose. Labonte drives it in deep again under Burton and Joe Nemechek. I think Joe saw his teammate coming in there hot, and he's like, I'm going to let him go. What a move. Killed off 2 birds with 1 stone that time. And now working on Johnny Benson for 13th. Labonte looking to make the pass. Going to try to outbreak him into the bus stop. Oh, contact with Benson. Well, they didn't make it in there very well. Labonte tried to drive it in deep, and Benson wasn't giving up the spot very easy either. Remember, we're coming to 35 laps to go this time by. We are almost done. And there's Ricky Rudd, who basically wiped out Labonte earlier in the race. Almost ended his race, that's for sure. Labonte hard into the back of Kurt Busch. You know Labonte's going to try to turn Ricky Rudd. He's overdriving the corners a little bit, trying to get around these guys. That's why there's been so much contact. Definitely gotten used to the analog stick for this race, at least, finally. Took a while. Hard into turn 1. Labonte gets around Kurt Busch, and he is all over. Oh, boy. My gosh, I tried to take out Rudd that time, and, wow, that was a close one. Labonte barely kept it off the tire wall. the inside of turn number 1.
Number 21 is Watkins.
This could get heated here between the 5 and the 21. It's already been up to this point.
Going on your right.
And he turns Ricky Rudd into the bus stop. Multiple cars pile in. Caution's out for the 7th time. Labonte gets his payback on Rudd, and there's a huge crash as that stacked up big time off the exit of the bus stop. This is right at the edge of the pit window as well. It's going to be really close if these guys are going to make it to the end on one more pit stop under this caution. Labonte charged through the field. Kurt Busch, Johnny Benson piled in. Guess it wasn't as big of a pile up as it looked like, but 3 cars were involved. Just nowhere to go for Kurt Busch and Johnny Benson there. Look at the spots. Rudd loses about 11 positions because of that. We'll have to see if everybody pits here. Labonte's going to pit. And nobody else is going to pit. Labonte's going to repair the damage and take 4 fresh tires. Right at the edge of the pit window. He might be able to make it on field to the end. It is going to be really close if it somehow stays green. Well, now Labonte's got the freshest tires in the field, but he'll be starting all the way at the back. Well, could be. Dale Jr. leading in this race. I'm sure he's probably led the most laps. He started on the pole and all these cautions too. Oh, jeez. Big check up into turn 1. There's contact again. I believe Kevin LePage and Stanton Barrett ran into one another. Labonte just kind of goes into the grass to miss him in turn 1 after they did stack up. Gained 3 spots. Kevin LePage is still racing without a hood, by the way. Oh, don't know how, but Bonnie got a little loose underneath Skinner. Accidentally ran right in the back of Skinner again. Yeah, they don't give course penalties in this game for whatever reason. What was that?
What an exciting finish.
Wow, you know, you're right. That was an incredible finish to an even more incredible race. This NASCAR Whiskey Cup Series is so exciting to watch.
How did that end the race?
Chevrolet didn't have much of a race.
I barely nicked the wall.
Never quite went his way.
We didn't even have that much damage on the left side. We just repaired it.
I'm not sure how all this got started, but now that they have a little history on the track, it'll be something to watch in the weeks ahead.
What was that? After all we had been through this whole race.
Next up is Michigan.
Sure enough, like when we get closer and closer to the end. How did that end the race? I mean, I grazed the wall. Like, grazed it. In turn 6. This whole race was just a shit show. I mean, What was this? What? There was Ricky Rudd trying to kill us in turn 5. Then he turned us right after that. It didn't show that part, though. I did repair the damage. I just pitted under the caution. Yeah, XX Games, I just repaired the damage under that caution. We went green a lap and a half later, and it barely nicked the wall and my engine blows. Yes, I did. I did say that. It was a realistic broadcast as much as I possibly could throughout this entire wreckfest of a race. But because of that blowing my engine, not the hard crash we were in earlier, that little tiny tap, not when Ricky Rudd and Sterling Marlin tried to kill us. That little, like, lightest graze into the wall. Well, this definitely wasn't the race of the week, I can tell you that much. That was when Marlin tried to take us out the first time. Here's Ricky Rudd trying to kill us. There was a big checkup. That's why I ran into the back of him. And look, I mean, he just shoves us way up the racetrack. Can we get a full replay? I don't know how the replays work with this game. This camera might actually... This camera's gonna be... Look! That is how light... Did you guys see that? Do you see, like, how light... This is not slow motion. I don't think it is. Yeah. Normal speed. That was normal speed. That honestly ticks me off. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I didn't hit that wall right there. I mean, we're in a championship battle right now. We can't be having... Look at this. Done. How? How did that blow the engine? I'm going to be asking that forever. But, my goodness. Dale Jarrett's going to go on to win his first race of the season, leading only 6 laps at Watkins Glen. We had 8 cautions for 26 caution laps of the 90 laps ran. We broke the physics. Yes, we did. Jeff Gordon finishes second, didn't lead a single lap the whole race, qualified second. Labonte started third, finished third. Junior led 60 laps in today's race, just dominated, but he finished 6th. Fell back on that last restart. Steve Park with a good top 5 run, was in the top 10 most of the day. Kurt Busch 4th, Jimmy Johnson back to 7th. Jeremy Mayfield was in the top 10 most of the day, finished 8th. Jerry Nadeau 9th, and Mark Martin rounds out the top 10. Man, how many points did we lose today? Marlin finished 25th. Where'd Ricky Rudd finish? Rudd finished 12th. Those are the 2 guys that tried to take us out earlier. Well, we got our payback on Rudd. We owe Marlin another one. Expect the unexpected, exactly. I cannot believe... I mean, that's such a sour note to end this race. Again, after how long of a race it was because of all the cautions, and we survived a couple big crashes, and we actually repaired most of the damage. We actually made it out of most of those crashes with not as heavy damage as we probably should have had. And that little, like, we just grazed it. And the left side wasn't even damaged anymore. Like, it wasn't even heavily damaged. Guess it just went to show. I guess the engine just didn't have much left in it. Stewart had a rough day again. 26th. Take a look at who all DNF. We had quite a bit. Labonte DNF, McMurray, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Green, Hermie Sadler all failed to finish. I thought we actually had more than that. Hermie Sadler blew an engine. Jeff Green got in a bad crash. That was the first caution of the day. Rusty Wallace about crashed out when he blew his engine, and then McMurray blew an engine as well before Labonte. So Terry Labonte finishes 39th. My gosh. We do have a doubleheader coming up tomorrow, so I don't want to overdo it today. So I guess I'll break that news. Doubleheader on NASCAR Thunder 04 tomorrow. We'll be streaming at noon Eastern Standard Time at Michigan, and then we'll be running at Bristol tomorrow night for the Bristol night race on NASCAR Thunder 04. So this will be the first time we've ever done a NASCAR Thunder 2004 doubleheader tomorrow, at least running 2 full races with it. We run the duel before the 500, but that's not a full race. And then, obviously, in Season 1 when we crashed, we would do another race. But I'm not going to do another race tonight because, again, we are doing a doubleheader tomorrow. We haven't done one in kind of a while, so I kind of want to do that while I'm off of work. And obviously still the NASCAR off-season, so maybe not a lot going on. I know the Rolex 24 is going on, so I'll make it noon Eastern Standard Time for Michigan tomorrow right here on the channel for NASCAR Thunder 04. And then Bristol will be later on in the evening. I'm not sure on the start time for that one yet. I would probably say 6 o'clock, but I guess I'll announce that during the Michigan race tomorrow. I'll have my mind made up a lot quicker. What a crazy race here today at Watkins Glen. So, yep, tune in for that one. First race will be at noon at Michigan, right here on Thunder 04. That first Michigan race actually went, or no, I was thinking of a different race. Season 1, the second Michigan race went caution-free, so we'll have to see what tomorrow's race will bring. We'll take a look at the point standings here on our way out. Sorry, I kind of stalled there in my rant about the game DNFing me when it shouldn't have happened. So Michigan 400 tomorrow. And then the Sharpie 500 at Bristol as well. We'll take a look at... I mean, you kind of got to put the blame a little bit on Sterling Marlin and Ricky Craven for having us back in traffic. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we were back in traffic, but that light gray should not have finished the race. All right, Dale Jr. still the points leader. The gap is closed. Gordon only 14 points back. It's still a tight battle with those top drivers. Mark Martin, 61 points back. Dale Jarrett, 96 back. Kenseth in 5th, 115 back. Then you got Bobby Labonte, 188 back. So the top 5 are still within one race worth of points. And then Labonte is over a race out. So is Ryan Newman. Newman falls back to 7th. Jeff Burton 8th, Kevin Harvick 9th, and Tony Stewart rounds out the top 10. Stewart was leading in the points 4 races ago. He's 10th, 281 back now. What a fall from grace. 2 DNFs and 3 finishes outside the top 25 in those last 4 have just hurt Stewart tremendously. And Labonte falls 2 spots in points, and he's now 346 back when he was 227 back going into the race. Tough break. My pick for the 500. I don't have one yet, but there's a special video coming out on the channel hopefully tomorrow. It's going to be my first prediction video of the year. So, my early Daytona 500 prediction, after practice and stuff and the duels, I'll make, a final decision, but you'll hear that tomorrow. So that is going to wrap it up right there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like, share, but most importantly, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, join us tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time on the channel for NASCAR Thunder 04. Hope to see you guys then. We'll have a doubleheader of action tomorrow. Michigan and Bristol should be a lot of fun. Labonte's looking for a bounce-back performance. It was just a rough race all the way throughout at Watkins Glen, and in both races, he crashes out with less than 30 to go. And Infineon, because Sterling Marlin flat out took him out while he was leading nonetheless. And then today, just tried to battle through adversity and grazed the wall, but the game DNF'd us, unfortunately. And that is going to wrap things up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.